Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Again, this is Allison. So, the last time I actually gumawa ako ng video about tips on how to pass a call center or call center interview. So now, the other video or this video, I'll be discussing to you on how you would be able to pass the Versant test. Okay, so when we say Versant, actually it is a computer designed to measure non-native speakers on how fluent they are in speaking English. Okay, so again, I've also experienced this one before, and I had a hard time passing this because I still don't know what are the techniques or what are the things that I need to do because it was my first time. So in this video, I'll be discussing to you one by one what are the things that you can do, what are the things that you should not do when you're taking the Versant test. Okay? So now let's start here. I actually have my copy here. This is actually the guide that I used when I was still when I was applying for call center jobs. So I just save it on my desktop. So I have here, so the first one, there are actually 5 stages for Versant test. So between stages, Versant Voices will instruct you on what to do, so you don't need to worry about that. So you just need to follow all the instructions. And that's it. As long as you follow the instructions, then I guess, or I believe that you would be able to pass the test. Okay, so now the first one here, you have to listen and repeat what you hear. So there would be like a voice recording. So you have to listen to the voice recording. So the voice recording will state a whole sentence and you need to repeat what it says. So what you need to do in this, let's say, stage. So for me, my advice for you guys is that you have to pronounce the words clearly. You have to louder your voice. Kasi yun napansin ko before, I actually failed 3 times in Versant exam. So yun nangyari is, when I asked the tenured agent, what they told me was, you really have to louder your voice and pronounce the words clearly. If you can open your mouth, if that's the only way for you to pronounce the words correctly, then do it. So actually magkakatabi kayo, you have your seatmates, you're doing Versant at the same time, so just ignore them. Minsan nako-conscious ka, especially if you're a first timer, but you just have to think of it na walang ibang tao sa room na yon, na you are only alone, so that you can focus and you can say the words correctly. Okay, so that's my first advice. So you just have to louder your voice and pronounce the words correctly. Second, let's have here. So read. So you'll be given like a paper. So on the paper, so there are sentences with corresponding numbers. So the Versant voice will give you, let's say, a number, and your job is to read the sentence that corresponds to that number. So example, if the Versant would say that please read number 3. So you have to go to number 3. So example, Peter went to the cinema yesterday. So you just have to read that. So in this portion, they will be like observing on how would you follow instructions. So if they say number 3, you need to read number 3. Not number 1, not number 2, not number 4, only number 3. Okay? And the next time, or the next step, or let's say they would say read number 4, read number 5, so you just have to go directly to the corresponding sentence and then read it clearly, and also you have to louder your voice. That's very important. Okay? Now, let's have here, the third one would be answer close-ended questions. Okay, so close-ended questions only require straightforward answers like yes or no. Okay, so again, close-ended questions, it can be answered by yes or no. So for example, Oliver is going to the market. Will he bring a basket or a laptop? So you can just say basket. Okay, so of course, that's the answer. But if you say laptop, it usually won't matter. So napansin ko lang, based sa iba who applied for call centers. Even if they say basket, as long as they they pronounce the words correctly and they have a louder voice, then that is okay. But again, I discourage you to do that because that is not really good. I mean, if you really know the answer, then just say the right answer. Okay? So it's just let's say it's better to be sure na you got the correct answer and at the same time you pronounce the words correctly. Okay? So now let's have the fourth one, the arranging the jumbled words in a sentence. So yung mangyayari is they will be giving you like set of words and it was actually jumbled. So you have to arrange those words to make a sentence. So let's say, for example, Oliver slash to the market slash went slash with a basket full of apples. So naka-jumbled yung words. So your task is to arrange the words to make a perfect sentence. So from that jumbled words, you can say, or the correct sentence would be, Oliver went to the market with a basket full of apples. Okay, so as simple as that. So example, not TV, it's TV, Sam watched yesterday. So it was jumbled. Okay, so what you can do is to say, Sam watched TV yesterday. So that's it, as simple as that. But you have to be careful. You have to make sure that the sentence is correct. Okay, so you are actually given time, or you will be given, let's say, time, or allotted time for you to reconstruct or to arrange the word to make a sentence. So take your time. Just have to make sure that it sounds, or the sentence would sound correct. So minsan kasi yun yung ginagawa ko, even if I don't know, let's say, look at the words or each of the words, as long as for me it sounds correctly, then I will just say it. Especially if the time is limited. So as long as it sounds correct, then just say it. Okay? So that's it. And the fourth one is narrate a short story. So it is actually, I guess, the most difficult stage of Versant, because Versant will read a short story around 3 to 5 sentences. So your task is to retell the story. Don't memorize the exact words, the exact sentence, because that is not advisable. Kasi for me, if I do that, sometimes may mental block ako. And I'm always thinking for the exact sentence. Now, I really need to say the exact sentence. Well, that's not good. So you have to say the sentence as long as the idea is there. That would be fine for me. Because I've actually tried that. I don't really say the exact sentence, but I just reconstruct it and make sure that the idea is still there. Okay? So you don't have to memorize the sequence and understand, but you have to understand the story. That's very important. You have to understand the story, the main idea, the thought, the everything. So if you can say it completely, as long as you have the thought, you have the idea in your sentence, then that would be okay. All right, and also the sequence, I guess. That's very important. You have to make sure that you remember the sequence of the story, okay? And then in your own words, you have to retell the story. So that's it. Anyway, you will be given time for that. So let's say, for example, Anna went to the market yesterday. she bought 3 apples and 4 mangoes. After that, she went to the cinema with her classmate. So that's it. So what you need to do is, if you can't remember the exact words, you can just say it in your own word, as long as the idea is there, the sequence is there. So that would be okay. All right. And again, don't forget, louder your voice and also pronounce the words correctly. Pronunciation is very important. Okay. And then, so after that, you have to answer an open-ended question. Okay, so when we say open-ended question, so you really have to construct your own sentence. That's very important. So the difficult version of number 3, let's say the close-ended question, instead of close-ended question, your answer will be open-ended one. So that means that you will answer the question, and you will explain, and explain. So you see how difficult it is. So what's more, you should talk within 30 seconds and other questions for 40 seconds. So within this period, do not stop talking. That's my advice. Even if nauubusan ka na ng ideas, don't stop talking. Talk and talk, even if paulit-ulit na siya, as long as your voice is loud, as long as your pronunciation is okay. Just say it, okay? You have to maximize the given time allotted, or the allotted time for this stage, okay? And then I recommend you to talk a little bit slower. Okay, you have to talk a little bit slower than your normal, than you normally would, because if you speak slower, you can actually think of the next word or the next sentence that you need to say. Okay, and at the same time, if you speak slower and louder, you would be able to pronounce the words correctly. Okay, so that's very important. And also another technique, when let's say there would be a question. So the question would be, what do you want to, or how can you help the society from air pollution? So you will be given like 30 seconds or 40 seconds to answer that. So you can just think of anything that I could plant trees. Instead of burning garbages, I would just have to segregate it correctly, so that it would avoid pollution. So stop burning garbages outside the house or outside of your home. And what else? So you can just think of anything that is related to pollution. So also another question would be, what would you do to help the society from poverty? So you have to think of that. So I would start it from myself. I would have to educate myself on what are the things that I can do. I have to finish my degree, and then look for a job, and then help other people on how they could find another job. So it's something like that. And it's just like critical thinking. So critical thinking, but at the same time, it's very important for you also to make sure that you answered the question correctly. But there was like a technique daw, sabi nila before. Now, when you're taking Versant test, even if your answer is not correct, even if you are not saying the right answer, as long as your voice is loud, or you have to louder your voice, and also pronounce the words correctly, so sabi nila, you would be able to pass it. So I guess that is correct. But if you know the answer, just say the right answer, plus pronunciation and also louder your voice. So that would surely help you to pass the Versant test. Okay, so I guess that's it. So those are just those are the stages that you will encounter when you will take the Versant test. So, well, Versant test, just to give you a tip also, it cares about your accent and pronunciation and less about your grammar. Okay, take note of that. So Versant cares more about your accent and pronunciation and less about your grammar. So yung sabi nila kanina or yung sabi ng supervisor ko before, bahala mali yung grammar mo, basta okay yung pronunciation mo, yung accent mo, at saka malakas yung boses mo, mapapasa mo yung Versant. 100%. That's coming from, or that's an advice from the expert. Because they've been doing that for how many years, and which is na-prove ko din. Kasi I was like advising some of my friends, kasi may referral, diba? So if there's a referral, you would really work hard na makapasa yung i-refer mo. So you have to feed them with all the informations, kasi sayang mo referral fee, malaki yun. Like 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. So I always advise them based from sa idea na nakuha ko from my supervisors, na you have to highlight the pronunciation, accent, and always louder your voice. Kasi if you do so, then you would be able to pass the Versant. And second tips, avoid dead air at all costs. So again, yung sabi nila, don't stop. During the open-ended questions, you have to say something even if it's not related. No, just kidding. You have to say something even if it's already circular ideas. Just say it. Not avoid dead air. That's very important. So take note of that. And also, tip 3, your volume. And also for the tip 3, your volume matters. So yung sinabi ko, you have to louder your voice all the time. Okay, and then the tip 4, sit as far as you can from the other applicants. So you have to sit far from them so that you can concentrate. Ano yung gagawin ko? What should I do? And hindi ka ma-distract. Kasi minsan yung mga applicants then they will louder their voice. So, madi-distract ka kasi ang lakas ng boses nila. So, if instead of my idea ka, malilimutan mo kasi you are already distracted. So, if you think pagpasok mo sa room ng dami nila, look for a chair na far away from them so you can concentrate. Great. And then, tip 5, talk slowly. You have to talk slowly but surely. Pronunciation, again, accent, and also voice. You have to louder it all the time. Feelers are no-no. Ano, etc. Kanang, those are not allowed. So please avoid that, guys. Don't use feelers, okay? It's better for you to say something or a word kahit hindi siya related, basta don't say feelers. That's a big no-no. No. Kanang, yung that's not allowed, okay? So that's it. So I guess you all have the tips, you all have the I've given you all the steps and stages and also the tips, so I hope that would really help you. So for those people who haven't watched my first video about my experience in my call center journey, so you can just check the video, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos in the future. So thank you so much, and I hope you have learned something from this video, and good luck to your application. So remember, confidence, it can change everything. I'm sure you would be able to pass your Versant or the whole interview process. So thank you so much for watching the video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.